Welcome back to Mojo-Synthesis, everybody, where we're breaking down the barriers between rap and metal, giving some reactions and lyric analyzation. And today, we are going after some metal. My name is Tony.
My name is Dwayne.
And we got one word for you. Slayer. All right, Slayer. The song is Raining Blood. The album is Rain in Blood. Dwayne, have you ever heard this song before?
No, I have not.
True reaction and review. True reaction coming today. Let's get going.
Let's make it happen.
There it is. Evil. Are you scared? In the context, just like go out here. All right, first thoughts.
All right, first off, I visualized in my head a fight scene between the vampires and the Lycans.
Okay.
I can see that like being the scene in the movie where the werewolves and the vampires clash. I can see that from the gate.
Well, when we hit the lyrics, it's not too far off that. Yeah, man, thrash metal. This is known as one of the maybe the best thrash song ever written, off one of the best thrash albums ever written, and yeah, let's hop right back in. Is that where the vampires are running away?
So, like when I'm listening to the song, right? I'm hearing the cadence.
Yeah.
It's totally like it's like an offbeat type of rap. Like when the way his cadence molds inside of a particular bar in the song. So there also is rhythm breakdown. So the rhythm is literally like a rap cadence.
Mm-hmm.
So they literally using the instruments to be a voice. So that's so dope.
Yeah, and especially Tom Araya's, he's the lead singer and bass player. His lyrics, he's not really singing a melody. He's singing a beat, basically, over all the instruments. And it becomes all entwined in that. It's really, like you said, it's more of a cadence. It's not necessarily a vocal melody
Right.
going over it. And one of the reasons why I picked this song today, because
That's
I thought you would appreciate it.
That's an ill concept.
Awesome. All right. Yeah! And now the vampires are all gone. Now it's just rain and cold.
So, Tony, let me ask you,
Yeah.
who is Slayer?
Slayer. All right. Slayer is, they're out of Los Angeles, California. They started up in 83. They kind of started around the same time as Metallica, Megadeth, more around the same time as Megadeth. Metallica already had an album in by the time these guys were starting to gain some steam. And also known as one of the big four, which is Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. And these guys really, I talked with the Metallica video, I talked about how they were the big game changer as far as bringing that type of music to the forefront. But Slayer went one step beyond that in the terms of the aggression and speed of the music. Now, in 83, when Metallica put their first album out, no one had ever heard it before. No one heard it before. Slayer put their first album out, and no one ever heard that before. Okay, so it is very different. You are familiar with Metallica. You know what that sound is like. I mean, does this sound like Metallica? No. Not at all.
Totally different.
Yet, early days, 80s, considered same genre. And, yeah, Slayer has, they always kind of remained in the underground. They, don't get me wrong, they were headliners. They played to huge crowds, but they never played to the same exact headlining crowds that a Metallica or an Iron Maiden did. But I don't even want to say they necessarily even ever wanted that. I guess that they all wanted in some fashion. But they always managed to keep their sound the same. They liked what they did. And by the way, Slayer is no longer a band. They stopped making music and touring, I think about 3-4 years ago. Okay. Might even be longer than that now. Jeez.
They had a long run, though.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I mean.
Definitely. And yeah, they've always managed to keep their sound consistent. They always stuck to their guns. They always stuck to what made Slayer Slayer. Where a lot of bands would change. Sometimes that's needed in a band. Sometimes it's not. Slayer always did what they did. Always maintained a following. And, man, I saw them twice in concert, and that's a serious show to go see. And Slayer fans are not to be trifled with. Not to be trifled with at all.
I can imagine it being a very intense, very high, energetic show.
It is. It's ridiculous. Thankfully, I had my seats in the stands. I wasn't on the floor. You know, I wasn't a late teen, early to mid 20s when I saw them. I was in the mid to late 30s, and I was trying to avoid a mosh pit. Sorry, I'm not hitting the mosh pit when I'm almost 40. I did do that at a Megadeth show, and yeah, it wasn't the same as it was 15, 16 years before that. So
that pain wear different, baby.
Exactly. But yeah, that's Slayer. Love them. Been a fan of theirs since I'm 14, 15 years old. You know, when I was a kid, and you know, this music really helped me. I wasn't a very aggressive kid. I was able to get out my aggressions through listening to the music, and it really gave me a big adrenaline pump, and that's how I got my fix on that. That's how I was able to. That was my version of raging. Was listen to some Slayer.
That's fly. That's like, for most people, I always advise people to listen to what makes you confident, what gives you your inspiration, regardless of what kind of music it is. As long as it's making you a better person, to be unique and be great for other people, rock with it.
Big time. Big time. All right. Lyrical analysis coming up.
Bars.
All right. All right. Now that we dried off after the headbanging fest there during Raining Blood, I'm gonna get into some lyrics here. So over the years, Slayer was always, especially in the early mid '80s, Slayer was perceived as being satanic, and it was very gimmicky back then. A lot of bands did it, but I would say they probably did it the most in a fantasy way. It wasn't really, these guys weren't on stage bowing down and hailing Satan. Now there are bands still out there that are doing that. One of the old ones you might have heard of was King Diamond, but we're not talking about King Diamond or satanic stuff right now. But we are talking about the lyrics for Raining Blood. So, just to get into it a little bit, so it starts out, trapped in purgatory, a lifeless object alive. Purgatory, you die, you don't go to heaven, you go to hell, you go to purgatory. You're a lifeless object, but you are alive. Pretty cool, right? Awaiting reprisal, we all know what awaiting reprisals means. None of us want that. Death will be their acquittance. Well, if you're acquitted by death, that's pretty much, that's it, right? Sky's turning red, return to power draws near. Want to take that next part?
Fall into me, the sky, crimson tears. Abolish the rules made of stone. That sounds like a rap bar. Like, there's a lot of rappers that are lyrical enough to give you poetry, to whereas it's a breakdown, to whereas you literally have to think about what they're talking about. So that was a dope bar breakdown for them, because it sounds like a rap bar.
Nice. And here's how I jump back into it. Pierced from below, souls of my treacherous past, betrayed by many, now ornaments dripping above, awaiting the hour of reprisal, your time slips away. I really like the betrayed by many, now ornaments dripping above. The body's hanging, raining blood all over me. Get it? Very cool. Ends up raining blood from a lacerated sky, bleeding its horror, creating my structure. Now I shall reign in blood. That's pretty. That's hard.
That's hard.
Creating my structure. Tom Araya's got it all planned out. Although I'm not sure that was him. That was probably Jeff Hanneman. Rest in peace. All right. So very cool.
So when you say it's fantasy as opposed to them following that type of ritual, what does that kind of entail?
You're think about it. You're 18, 19, 20 years old. You got bands out there now like King Diamond, who I did mention before. You got Iron Maiden with certain imagery. At that time in the 80s, that was a very popular thing. You had Dungeons and Dragons out at that time. You had, late 70s, early 80s horror B-movies. A lot of that imagery was very popular. And when you're young, before you're going out against the world for more adult things, this is kind of what comes up. And it worked for them. It didn't work for everybody. It definitely worked for Slayer. They knew what they were doing with that. Pretty intense stuff. Couple albums later, maybe I'll pull something eventually for you from one of those. The lyrics they kept being in this realm, but getting more towards of social ideas in their lyrics, not just the fantasy, blood, and gore and stuff like that. So we'll get there eventually. But main reason today I pulled this in, I felt this was a good bridge between, as we talk about metal, rap, there's this song. It's definitely a thrash metal song, but as you spoke about before, you hear your trained ear, you hear something else there, and just goes to show how much the music really is all just music, and it can go either way. So, anything else to add on Raining Blood?
I can see Rob Zombie definitely like chopping that up and making a movie out of
it. Definitely. Well, anyway, so in the end, what do you think? We got a win. We got a winner here.
It's a winner. I like it.
All right.
I can I hear rap production and I hear gym like my gym compound movements in that joint. So yeah, let's rock with it.
If you're doing reps on this song, man, you're gonna pow 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 pow.
Easy.
Nice. Well, another good one. Raining Blood, Slayer. Folks, we are Mojo-Synthesis. I'm Tony.
I'm Dwayne.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked what you saw today, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Dwayne and I will see you next time on Mojo-Synthesis.